Okay, so I'm going to try to show you how I go about modding the Switch. And right now I'm modding. These are stock, new, well not new, they're actually, they feel like vintage, but they're actually new blacks off of a Data 911 keyboard that I harvested. Um, and I'm putting these together for a Control-Alt-60 I'm building. I've got 65-gram gold Korean springs, and I've got a mix here of Krytox GPL 104, which is an oil-based lubricant, and 205, which is a grease-based. And what I'm gonna do, I actually let this like tip over the other day, so now it's coating the sides pretty well. I'm just gonna get a little bit on the brush. You don't want it to be soaking. And then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna lubricate just the rails on the side. You can see the rails on the side right there, and there, and then the leaf. See how there's a center part, and then there's the two rails on the side of the leaf. Kind of make it out. I'm gonna loop that, and I'm gonna put a little bit in that center hole. Okay, so here I go. First, I'm just gonna give it a light brush right at the side, like that. Then the leaves. And then just a little bit right down there in that center hole. Just like that. Okay, so now that bottom part's done lubing. And I lubed the tops in the other video I've uploaded. So I've already got my tops lubed. So now the next part to do is I'm choosing to sticker my switches, and whether how much effect this has is actually somewhat up for debate. What it does is it stops the play between the top half of the housing and the bottom half of the housing. But really what it does is it kind of makes your switches look nice. So the switches usually come, the stickers, I'm sorry, usually come in a sheet like this. I'm sorry, I'm not moving the camera, I'm just, so it's kind of close up. But you can see all the switches just come lined up like this. And I find what works really well is you have to pop out the middle of these stickers, otherwise you have to peel them out later and you risk tearing your stickers. So I like to do that first before I even tear the sticker out. So I get a pair of curved tweezers, electronics tweezers like this. Got a little lube on there. And then you kind of bend the sheet until you can kind of see it popping up a bit. And just get in there and carefully pop it off. And just, have a sheet of paper or a napkin or something nearby for you to deposit all these on. And then you just bend it so you can see it popping up a bit. I'm sure you can see that. Yeah, okay. And then you just grab it. You want to be careful to make sure the adhesive does come up together with it. Okay. And then this little bad boy goes on the bottom of the housing. So what you're going to do is you see how there's like a rim up on the top right here? Like on the top side, there's the rim going around the outside. There's like a little lip. You want to line up the thin part of this to that and make sure the sides of the housing are sticking out through the middle. Sometimes it can be hard to sleeve it properly. This is a little hard to do in front of camera. But, yeah, I'm going to try my best here. And a pair of tweezers really helps to not only get the stickers off, but to line it up. And then sometimes what I do is I'll flip the tweezers around and I'll use the flat end to tamp the side of it down and make sure it's sticking. Sometimes they can be stubborn and not want to stick. They're not always the most adhesive stickers. They're usually just a basic vinyl. The ones you get from straight from Korea tend to be this nicer matte, almost like a pleathery looking material. I got mine from Tech Keys. They're like $7 for a sheet of stickers. They come in all different colors. Yeah. Okay, so now this is stickered. And if it doesn't stick too much, you don't have to worry that much. Just it has to be just aligned enough that when you put the top part of the housing on, that it stays still. Because the top is going to clamp down over it and then hold it in place. Okay, so what I've got now are these 65-gram gold Korean springs. I'll show you what those look like. They're right here. And then I've got this Teflon silicone lube. It's just this cheap stuff, comes in a big bottle. Some people use Victorinox oil. It's the kind of oil you would use for it comes with Swiss Army knives. But what I've done here is I've just poured a little puddle of it into a top of a Gatorade container, and I just dip the bottom of it in, and that's just so that it doesn't when it rubs against the bottom of the switch, it's lubricated, because that will get a little bit of friction. Sometimes sometimes I dip the tops too. I used to soak them in there actually, but then it would kind of flood my switches if I was going for that feel. I'm trying to go on a little bit of the lighter side this time because I like the way these vintagey blacks feel. Okay, and now I'm gonna grab my stem, which I've already lubed off camera. I'm just going to use my fingers. Usually I like to use tweezers for all of the steps, just to make sure I don't get any crud on the switches. Okay, and then that's ready for its switch top. And then you just line it up. Try to make sure the sticker doesn't get caught. Which it's doing right now. Shit. Alright. There you go. See, that's ideally how you want the sticker to look. You want it to have like a little bit of a skirt sticking out the top and the bottom like that. I don't know if you can hear this, but it's nice and smooth and lubed. And usually what I like to do is right after lubing them, you don't want to leave the switch still, because then all the lube, it kind of bunches up where it's been, and sometimes gravity can take over and it'll start separating, and it'll kind of end up in weird places. So really play with the switch a bit right after you lube it. Like, just try to give them a lot of regular play right after the lube. It helps work the lube in right to where it needs to be. It'll just obviously naturally get put on and where it needs to be, because it'll get touched by whatever is causing friction. And that should do it. Thanks for watching. That's a 65-gram lubed stickered Cherry MX Black. There you go.